Terrace Thrive Tribe bridges the gap between individual transformation and collective support. The goal is to move from surviving to thriving through a structured journey of self-mastery. Hi, I'm Tara Christine, host of Terrace Thrive Tribe, the podcast, coming at you with episode 1. Since the last time I posted on Terrace Thrive Tribe YouTube channel, I felt the pull to write my book, my first book. In January, I just knew it was the time to start getting at it, and when I thought, okay, will I give myself to the beginning of 2027 to finish this? I immediately knew that that would be too much time and I would never actually get anything done. So my 44th birthday was on March 13th, and I said, that's exactly it, and that's perfect, which gave me 6 weeks to complete the manuscript and have it turned in for publishing. I managed. I got it done. It is not perfect, but it's beautiful and it's impactful. I need to take you all on the journey I've been through so that you understand we're all the same. I've been through my own sufferings at the hands of my own choosing without even understanding and realizing that I was making that decision for myself in my life, and by extension, all of my loved ones. And that can be a tough pill to look back on and swallow. What if everything that you think defines you in this life is actually what's holding you back? Today we're talking about the power of unbecoming. As we all know, we are born into the hardwiring of our culture and society and the ways of the endless number of people around us. From the systems built to help us through our government, from education to medical to the criminal justice system and everything in between, we blindly follow and rely on them to honestly guide, support, and save us when we are in need. The issue is that this design has been a facade, and we have all fallen for it. As we blindly follow the sheeple that they have trained us to be, the unnecessary suffering that we all experience on a pretty regular basis throughout our lives is wild and insane. From the toxic patterns that we experience in our relationships, especially romantic relationships, look at what has happened to dating and marriage and just love in general. It's all gotten so skewed and convoluted. It's not even enjoyable anymore. And then we have really our primetime television shows that families sit down to watch, like Everybody Loves Raymond, where you have that husband that is just screwing everything up and he's a doofus, and we're laughing because what an idiot, how can this guy be, he's really just such a child. And then there's his wife that just swoops in and fixes everything and is constantly berating and insulting him in front of everybody for us to just laugh at. How hysterical. Relationships are much the same way. Women are overbearing. Women are pushing men away. Men are so unhappy. Women are so unhappy. Nobody's communicating properly. Nobody taught us how to cultivate, nurture, and navigate these things. So coming from someone who has now been divorced for 18 years and now single for 10 years also, at least single from a mutually exclusive and loving relationship. I've done minor casual dating, and I had one serious years-long situationship that I broke my own heart over, but then learned so many serious life lessons and gained a ton of wisdom from, and I'm just extremely grateful for. Having always been such a nightmare of a partner, honestly, the boundary-pushing girlfriend that nagged and bitched about everything and just complained and was always on edge and anxious and frustrated and jealous and insecure, and I had all of these expectations that were really impossible to meet. It took meeting my match in the boundary pushing of another who wouldn't let me push his whatsoever, yet I beat my head against the brick wall, really trying to make him everything I wanted to be, trying to make our relationship everything I thought it should be based on who and how I wanted this person to be. He refused, thankfully, finally giving me the deep awareness that people are who they are. Who am I to come in with these unreasonable expectations, demanding that these whole other human beings give me everything I want, while I'm over here only giving them everything I want? It's backward, and it's actually so common. This is the fundamental, foundational makeup of many of the relationships out there, which is why they're miserable. You don't have two happy, healthy people living their lives big and bold and doing their thing, loving themselves, honoring themselves, finding balance, making good decisions in a healthy mental state, coming together as partners to team up and provide that much more value as a duo than they did individually. That's what it's all about. All of these toxic patterns and people-pleasing cycles have really set us in a state of paralysis and hopelessness. And so here I come with the Unbound philosophy, because 3.5 years ago, I sold my house and I've been living out of this van with all of my belongings. My little dog Bear, he's going to be 16 in May, and we have just been traveling and free, living the slow life and racking up experiences and adventures and just learning a ton. It's been amazing. And what I've learned is that it takes shedding all of the things, especially material possessions that we've been collecting for our lives, storing, maintaining, cleaning, moving around, attached, the stories that we attach emotionally, mentally, and then physically, having to deal with all of these things in our environment, weighing us down, keeping us attached to old identities and stories that don't necessarily help us these days in our life. The self-sabotaging can be pretty heavy, without us even realizing that that is what we're doing. It's the pattern, the habit that we fell into. In our lifetime, everybody around us is doing it, and so we just pick up the same routines. Unbinding from society's hardwiring takes some time, and it can be a painful process. But it's no more painful than staying in the mediocrity and really dreadful living day to day to day to day that many of us are experiencing. Complete unfulfillment. And we don't even know why or where to start turning that around and fixing it for ourselves. Self-mastery is the concept of controlling our thoughts, our behavior, ourselves. Self-mastery. It is not about adding anything to our lives. It's about subtracting all the things that are actually imprisoning us that we're not even realizing. I'm going to give you one actionable step to complete this week because you deserve to feel better and increase your quality of life tenfold, if not tons more. Identify one should for yourself that you have in life that you are going to unbind from now. Our lives are full of circumstances that we did not necessarily choose for ourselves. To start becoming conscious of these is where all the magic happens, and you can start noticing each one individually. Start ticking them off the list, one by one. If you're not feeling in alignment with something and absolutely fulfilled to the brim, wanting this, set your soul on fire, then it's something you need to let go. Truly. This living for other people has got to stop. I invite you to make a list of everything that does not set your soul on fire. And then another list of the things that do, because we don't want to spend too much energy on the things that we don't want. We're going to pivot and focus all of that energy on the things that we do. You were born with a right to pursue all of these dreams and goals and visions that you have. The fact that it is even a vision within you means that it is meant to exist. And it is your only duty to learn and grow and pursue these dreams with intentional and inspired action. I promise, and promise is a silly word, but I do promise that you're never too old, you're never too late. Stepping back out of ourselves gives us such a different perspective. And I'm so grateful that I learned the skill and have improved being able to do this rather than being so self-absorbed in my own thoughts and feelings and wants and all of these things that blinded me from the destruction that my self-centeredness was actually causing. Click to subscribe, join the tribe, and follow along. Let's bridge this gap and just improve our quality of lives more than we can even imagine in this moment right now. Welcome to the tribe. You're not lost, you're just shedding.